Prince Harry and Meghan thought they'd survived the worst until South Park decided to take aim again. This time, it's not just about privacy or their Montecito life. It's about that pregnancy video, and the parody is about to hit harder than ever. Get ready, because the next chapter of their South Park saga is coming, and it's personal.
What matters is what we have on the inside. Hello?
On the surface, Montecito is the epitome of calm. The pristine hedges, the ocean breeze, and the peaceful garden walks seem like the perfect escape from the chaos of royal life. But inside their home, it's a different story. Behind those high gates, Harry and Meghan are in full-on crisis mode, scrambling to manage the storm that's brewing around them. The staff is working around the clock, some even pulling sunrise shifts to monitor Reddit and Discord for any leaks about the upcoming South Park episode. The PR teams are at war, debating how to respond without sounding too defensive, or worse, too apologetic. Every word is weighed carefully, knowing that the wrong move could make things worse. And then there's Harry. According to insiders, he's been spiraling. His phone is on vibrate while he sleeps, only to jolt him awake if there's a new leak or development. He's obsessively checking group chats, trying to stay one step ahead of the animation chaos. Word is he's even rewatched the original South Park roast multiple times, steeling himself for what's coming next. The pressure is mounting, and no one can predict just how hard this new episode is going to hit. Meghan, on the other hand, has switched into full CEO mode. Staffers report that she's demanding daily reports, snapping at assistants, and trying to stay 10 steps ahead of the cartoon. The atmosphere inside their home is less of a family estate and more like a military operation. Digital dashboards are tracking social media sentiment, while lawyers in London and LA are brainstorming ways to deal with the impending parody. It's clear, this isn't just a joke anymore, it's a crisis.
It's the worldwide privacy tour. Come on. We want privacy. We want privacy.
When South Park first took aim at Harry and Meghan, it wasn't just a roast. It was a cultural moment. The worldwide privacy tour episode became an instant classic, mocking the couple's pleas for privacy while paradoxically craving the spotlight. In a scene that felt more like a punch to the gut than a joke, the animated Harry and Meghan begged the media for seclusion, while practically waving signs that read, "Look at us." It was satire that was as sharp as it was unforgiving. The episode reshaped how the world saw them. It wasn't just a gag, it was a redefinition of their public persona. The couple's image as privacy-seeking rebels clashed painfully with their very public lifestyle. South Park didn't just mock, they pointed out the hypocrisy. And they did it with brutal humor. The media frenzy around the episode was so intense that it stuck in the public's mind, leaving an indelible mark on their reputation. For Harry and Meghan, it was more than just a joke. It was a reminder of the fine line they've been walking between seeking privacy and seeking attention. And with this new South Park sequel looming, the stakes have never been higher.
Down with the monarchy. We deserve our privacy. Fuck these people.
Behind the closed doors of their Montecito home, Harry and Meghan are feeling the heat. While the outside world sees calm and serenity, inside, it's pure chaos. Harry, overwhelmed by the impending South Park sequel, has reportedly been spiraling. Sources say he keeps his phone on vibrate while he sleeps, jolting awake to check group chats for any signs of new leaks. He's even rewatched the original South Park roast, trying to brace himself for what's coming next. The weight of it all seems to be taking its toll on him. Meghan, in contrast, has switched into full control mode. Staffers describe her as a woman on a mission, snapping at assistants and demanding constant updates on the situation. The atmosphere inside their home has shifted, feeling less like a sanctuary and more like a military operation. Digital dashboards track social media sentiment, and legal teams are constantly in touch, trying to figure out how to manage the damage. The couple's internal response reveals just how much is at stake. Harry's mood swings from hopeful to brooding, while Meghan seems more focused than ever, determined to stay ahead of the chaos. It's clear they're not just fighting a cartoon, they're fighting to protect their image and the future they're trying to build.
Yeah, nobody set out to destroy you. You destroyed yourselves in this country with your ludicrous, hypocritical behaviour. Truth be told, what she just said is complete and utter garbage.
As the South Park sequel looms, Harry and Meghan's legal and PR teams are scrambling to find a way out of the mess. The couple's advisors have been consulting with top lawyers and PR experts, but so far there seems to be no viable escape. Satire, after all, is protected in the US, and Harry and Meghan's best shot at a defense, emotional distress, hasn't gotten much traction. Courts don't typically intervene when public figures post content themselves, as Meghan did with the infamous pregnancy video. With no real legal standing to block the episode, the couple's team turned to a different tactic, calling in favors from Hollywood insiders. The hope was to get some behind-the-scenes support, maybe convince South Park to soften their portrayal. But that hope quickly died. Studio executives made it clear South Park isn't one to be controlled. As one exec put it, comedy is currency, and they own the mint. Meghan's team then tried to rally influencers to frame the parody as misogynistic, but most declined. Some were too wary of the backlash, while others demanded huge payments to join the campaign. With every attempt falling short, it's becoming clear, no matter how much they fight it, the South Park episode is coming, and there's little they can do to stop it. The impact of the South Park parody goes beyond just mocking Harry and Meghan. It threatens to unravel their carefully crafted public images. Meghan, who has built her brand around strength, authenticity, and motherhood, now finds herself at the mercy of a biting satire that frames her image as a staged production. The leaked script shows a parody that hits uncomfortably close to home. Ring lights, fake tears, and a jiggling baby bump that makes her every move look calculated. For Harry, the stakes are no less personal. It's not just about being mocked. This satire threatens to cement them as comedic figures, reducing them to punchlines rather than respected public figures. The personal toll is evident as Harry struggles with the helplessness of knowing that the animation is already locked and finalizing in a Colorado studio. There's nothing he can do to stop it, and every attempt to fight it risks drawing more attention to the parody. On a larger scale, Meghan's brand is now tied to the parody, with online sentiment shifting from admiration to ridicule. Her empowerment products are being compared to staged props, and even her loyal supporters are distancing themselves, unwilling to engage with the controversy. This parody is no longer just a joke. It's becoming a defining moment, one that could permanently reshape their public identity. Once South Park released their latest parody, the internet took over. What started as a simple roast has exploded into a viral phenomenon, and Harry and Meghan have become the target of endless memes. TikToks, Twitter threads, and Instagram reels are flooded with exaggerated cartoon versions of the couple, often focusing on the infamous pregnancy video. These memes hit hard, with exaggerated animations of Meghan's baby bump bouncing and Harry fumbling with ring lights. It's not just funny, it's everywhere, and it's relentless. The parody clips are circulating faster than ever, showing Harry adjusting the ring light in Netflix scenes, edited side by side with the South Park version, and the comparison is brutal. The parody isn't exaggerating anymore, it's practically mirroring reality. And that's what stings the most. Once a joke hits that close to the truth, it starts to feel less like a cartoon and more like a reflection of reality in the public's mind. Even Meghan's team is watching the meme frenzy with growing concern. Junior publicists have tried to spin it into a message of female empowerment, but the response has been overwhelming. Most influencers aren't biting, and the ones who do are quickly mocked. Social media sentiment is shifting by the hour. Mockery and sarcasm now dominate, leaving very little room for defense. The meme machine is unstoppable, and it's turning Harry and Meghan into a punchline with lasting impact. As the South Park parody continues to spiral out of control, Harry and Meghan are now faced with two critical options on how to manage the fallout. Each option comes with its own risks, but doing nothing isn't one of them. The first option? Embrace the ridicule. Harry and Meghan could release a casual video showing them laughing off the parody, perhaps strolling on the beach or playing with their children. The goal would be to show the world that they can take a joke and that they don't take themselves too seriously. This approach has potential. People love resilience, and showing they can laugh at themselves might soften the public's perception. However, there's a massive risk. If South Park picks up on their laughter and turns it into a recurring gag, that laughter will become the soundbite that haunts them for years. Imagine every interview, every public appearance, every social media post with that laugh edited into it. No amount of goodwill could undo that damage. The second option? Use the parody as a platform to address a larger issue. They could launch a campaign against online bullying, using the pregnancy parody as a teachable moment about the dangers of mocking women, particularly in the public eye. They might even bring in maternal health experts or donate proceeds to parenting nonprofits. This would shift the conversation from the South Park roast to something more serious and noble. But again, there's a glaring danger. If the campaign feels too calculated, too polished, it could easily be seen as mockavism, using outrage for personal gain. The line between genuine advocacy and opportunism is razor thin, and if they misstep, it could backfire spectacularly. In the end, no matter what path they choose, the damage from the South Park parody is done. The question now is how they'll try to manage the lasting impact. At the end of the day, it's not just about the cartoon versions of Harry and Meghan or their jiggling baby bump. It's about the terrifying power of a joke that sticks. The South Park parody has already done its damage, not just to their public image, but to how they're now perceived in the eyes of the world. Once a joke becomes so close to reality, it starts shaping the truth in the public's mind. No amount of spin, no PR campaign, or celebrity statement can erase the mark left by a viral punchline. For Harry and Meghan, the question isn't whether they can survive the parody. It's whether they can rebuild the identity they've worked so hard to craft. The power of satire, especially one as widely circulated as South Park, is that it sticks. It becomes part of the narrative. And once a narrative is set, changing it is nearly impossible. What South Park has done, in a way, is reframe their entire story. As the couple braces for the inevitable premiere, they face the harsh reality. Perception is often more powerful than truth, and once the world starts laughing, it's hard to get them to stop. The only thing left to do now is watch how Harry and Meghan navigate the fallout, because the joke may have been the punchline, but the real story is how they'll deal with the aftermath.